Having dysfunctional tools and components is a great disadvantage and will negatively affect the outcome of your project. Thus, every electronics engineering student must have their own sturdy toolbox to keep their components and tools organized and secured. It is advisable to have a multi-layered toolbox since it has different compartments and divisions for segregation. You can also buy small containers for small compartments such as resistors, diodes, capacitors, and transistors. Now that we have our toolbox, let us enumerate the essential tools that we need to store. In making electronic devices, the most important step is testing our circuits. A multimeter is a handheld tester used to measure electrical voltage, current, resistance, and other values. Multimeters come in analog and digital versions and are useful for everything from simple tests like measuring battery voltage to detecting faults and complex diagnostics. They are one of the tools preferred by electricians for troubleshooting electrical problems on motors, appliances, circuits, power supplies, and wiring systems. Second is our breadboard. Breadboard is a rectangular plastic board with copper wires inside. Components can be attached through the tiny holes all over the board to connect them to the copper wire. It is used to build and test circuits before finalizing any circuit design. With the use of our breadboard, we also need our third essential tool, which is the jumper wires. Jumper wires are used to connect components in our breadboard, which has a connector pin at each end. It is normally used to interconnect the components of our breadboard for other prototype or test circuit, internally or with other equipment or components without soldering. During the testing of your circuit designs, alligator clips can also be included in your toolbox. They are sprung metal clip with long serrated jaws which are used for creating a temporary electrical connection. For number 5 is our soldering tools. Soldering tools are highly essential in making our projects to join different components and circuits together by melting. Soldering iron is used to melt the soldering lead, which is the filler metal that acts as a glue for the components. Another tool used in soldering is the solder vacuum pump. However, this tool is optional. Using the pump would help clean up poorly soldered components by removing the lead. To maintain the soldering iron, a cleaning sponge is important to remove excess lead on the tip of the iron. The 6th essential tool are the stranded and solid wires. These wires are commonly used in making electronic projects to connect our circuit boards to external components. Solid wires can also be used in breadboards, while stranded wires are the best suited in circuit boards since they are more flexible. Wire cutters or strippers are important for preparing the wires to be used in connecting our electronic components. In connecting different wires together, it is advisable to have our 8 essential tools, which are the electrical tape and heat sink tubing. These items can be used to cover connected stripped wires. However, the heat sink tubing is more durable for this purpose, since electrical tape loses its adhesive properties over time. The heat sink tubing covers stripped wires when connected by heating the tubing with a soldering iron. Printed circuit boards or PCBs is our 9th essential tool. The circuit board is commonly used for electronic devices since it is a compact way to mechanically support and electrically connect electrical or electronic components using conductive tracks, pads, and other features etched from one or more sheet layers of copper. Lastly, you have our handheld drill. The drill is used to create holes in the circuit boards to insert the components to be connected.